Well, to discuss all of the issues facing the Fed right now, I'm joined by Andrew Popper. He's Chief Investment Officer at SG Hambros Bank. Andrew, thank you so much for coming in.
Good morning.
It's really all about the Fed today. And I guess what investors want to know, and tell me if it's your case, is will they actually do more quantitative easing? That's really the crux of it.
Well, I think that quantitative easing is already underway, and there is a program in place which they have established several weeks ago, and they are embarked on a program of buying treasuries and injecting liquidity into the market. And as I expressed it here before, I think that the Fed's policy is well conceived and is going to be very helpful from the point of view of the economy.
But for the U.S. economy, is it helpful
Yes.
for the rest of the world? Because we're still seeing finger pointing saying, well, guys, how can you ask China to revalue if you're just flooding your markets with cash?
Well, the Fed cannot pursue two objectives at the same time. Their policy is entirely focused on domestic considerations, and the expected depreciation of the dollar is a byproduct, which, by the way, it hasn't happened yet. It's more of a concern because the dollar actually has been quite strong since the second round has been announced. And the U.S. is not the main culprit in this currency war, so to speak. It's certainly more of a problem with China in terms of maintaining an artificially low currency. And as you can see, it's hurting them more than hurting anybody else because they have very significant difficulties in containing their own inflationary pressures.
Now, we have this going on in the United States. Here in Europe, we have possibly renewed concern about a sovereign debt crisis, especially if Berlusconi doesn't win his confidence vote. What does it mean for your asset allocation?
Well, for the time being, from the point of view of the asset allocation, this particular issue with Berlusconi is not enormous significance. We still remain, going back to the Fed's policy and the overall circumstances, we still remain very positive on equities. So we're not going to make changes in the asset allocation just because of what might happen or not to Berlusconi. But what it remains in place, and you're absolutely right to highlight, is that the main risk to economic recovery and the main risk to market performance in 2011 is the Eurozone by far. I think that the overall conditions are rather favorable, and the main risk is the Eurozone. The Eurozone will be the dominant problem, I believe, in next year. And whether with or without Berlusconi, the problems will not go away. And they are not limited to Italy. If anything, they are probably less significant in Italy than elsewhere.
Andrew, thank you so much. Andrew Popper there.